Hey guys, what's up?
I've been wanting to make a video, but I don't have a camera and I'm using my iPhone. And this has been on my mind for like a couple of weeks. And, well, it's been on my mind for months, obviously, but
That's true.
like me telling my testimony and my story has been on my mind for a couple of weeks. And I just been waiting to get a camera because I'm gonna get it for my birthday. But, oh! My bad, my camera fell. But, I told my Facebook that I was going to make this video about my testimony and what God has been saying and why I stopped running away from, Him and listening to what He has to tell me. For a while in my life, I was always mad at Him for, taking away my dad. That's how I saw it as a little girl. And I was always upset, and I would always just be like, well, then why did God, if He loves me so much, why would He take away my dad? I felt alone. Of course I have my mom and I have my family, but like nothing compares to a father's love, which is from what of course my mother's love was amazing, and she played both parts, but I needed him, and I felt like he took him away, and I never understood why. So all the times that I went to church as a little girl, I went to a Catholic church, I went to a Catholic school, and I was always, interested in learning about God. I ended up going to a retreat for my, not my communion, for my confirmation in 8th grade, and, they did the altar call, and like that was the first time I ever went to the altar, and, really felt something in my church. In my church, it was kind of just a routine for me to go every single Friday and with my school, and then Sunday with my family. Even that, like, we wouldn't even go every single Sunday. So it wasn't like I had a burning passion to learn more or to just know, you know what I mean? I got confirmed, and my priest would say that we're Jesus freaks, that because we had like such a burning passion to learn more about Him. And I remember going to church, and like every single time after church would end, like I would literally like sit at the altar and just like cry and like look at the cross. And what really like brought me closer to Jesus was, seeing Him die on the cross, and like the pain that He went through, and it really touched me. I remember just crying like with all my friends at the retreat my 8th grade year. That's what really opened up my mind to learn more. And then when I went to Chaminade, my freshman year in high school, I kind of just took a step back, kept taking more and more steps back, and doing the wrong thing, skipping school, not doing good in school. And even when we would go to church, I would sleep. I would literally fall asleep, or I would eat in church, and like that's disrespectful. My mom took me out of that school, and I went to MacArthur. I met Gino.
Yo, we out here, you know what I mean, boy. I got life changing.
Okay. And then I met Gino and his wonderful family, and they introduced me to New Life, and it was very different from my church, so I had a lot of questions, but I liked it. I liked going there. I ended up going to youth group a lot, and every single time I went to youth group, it just reminded me of my friend Amanda, and just something just kept leading me back to like going. Because for a while, after I went for a couple of weeks, I kind of stopped going, and then like something in my head was just like, okay, like you need to continue the path that you're going on, because your life is good, And I remember saying that. I remember like in March when I first met you, I was like, oh, like this is like the great patch of my life. Like I'm really gonna like remember this and look back on it and be happy that I went through that. Like I'm very happy that I met Gino, and I'm very happy that he took me to church like the day like the week after we started talking. He was just like, let's go to church, and I was so down for it. Like I wasn't like, no, I was like, oh, I go to church too. Like where do you go? Like were you baptized? Like I was just like, we were asking so many questions.
I remember the first video you showed me was that home video you took of yourself, you singing what's that Christian song?
Oceans.
Yeah,
I was singing Oceans, and he was like,
that's the first video you ever showed me of yourself singing.
Yeah.
I knew right there and then, like, you were perfect. Like,
aww,
church girl, everything. Like, you were perfect for me.
Thank you, babe. Something kept leading me back there. And December was when Gino was like busy with like band, and I was in the band, but like, he had practice. Like sometimes I wouldn't go to practice, and I would go to youth group. So there was one time where I went by myself, and I wasn't scared, but I was shy. December, there was one third Tuesday in December, where it was like revival week, and the pastor's wife was just praying with me the whole time, and you know, that really like just, she like lit my fire, or like, you know, like God used her to like light my fire. She's awesome. She's like really sweet, really nice. And then there was another time my pastor was talking about like, if you lost a parent, like, you know, don't be upset with God, you know, trust him. I just broke down crying, and my fire just kept growing from there. And oh my God, I'm telling my dream now. When I was in 8th grade, this is like really deep now, I'm getting real deep with y'all. And then when I was in 8th grade, I suffered with depression, and you know, I don't want to cry before my senior pictures. So I like would self-harm, and I was like really stupid. Like it was influence, because me and my friend Nicole, you know, we would see this girl on Instagram who would always self-harm, and you know, she said this is what you're supposed to do when you're depressed. And you know, I had this dream a couple weeks ago of, you know, me and Gino getting into a big fight, and you know, our friend Keyshawn, I don't know where he came in, but he came to pick him up, and I just was crying. I was like, stay with me, like don't leave me. I gave him a big hug, and then, you know, when I let go of him, I have like these huge, like a single huge cut on like both of my forearms, and I'm like, where's this blood coming from? Like, what did you do? Like, look what you're doing to me. Like, you're doing this to me. And he's like, it's not me. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then like all of a sudden, you know, like it's Judgment Day. It's like standing before God, and you know, it's his mom in front of him, and then his dad's in front of his mom, and then he's in front of me, and then behind me is my mom and my family. So I was very scared. I remember I was like, oh my God, like I don't know if I'm ready. Like I really hope. Like I'm like, I love God. Like he knows I love him because I served him, you know. And that's what I was saying in my head. You know, Gino's mom, his dad, Gino passes through the gates, and it's my turn, and he says to me, depart from me, I do not know you. I'm like crying to him, saying like, no, and I give him a hug, and then as soon as I let go of him, you know, I have these cuts on my arms again. And I said, what is this? Like, what is going on? Like, I was getting frustrated. And then all of a sudden we're on this long road, and like a bunch of people are like crying out like, God forgive me, and like I know it's too late, you know. And we're all in like white t-shirts, and they're all like banged up and like ripped and dirty. The white shirts stand for purity, and you know, we weren't pure. Like we weren't doing what God was asking us to do, and you know, the devil got a hold of us. Some guy says, oh, like you were left behind, and like I just broke down crying. The devil comes to me and he goes, I had you, and he looks at my cuts on my arms, and he says, you know, I had you all this time. I had you since you first started, and I've even when you stopped, I still had you because you were thinking about it, and you know, I was in your head. And then I woke up, and I was, oh my God, you know when you wake up from a bad dream, and it's just like you look around to see if you're okay. I was shaking, I was crying, I was praying, I was crying out to God, like to ask for his help, and he delivered me from thoughts that I was having and my problems in my life, and you know, the angerness. And is angerness a word? Angriness?
Anger.
Oh, my anger and my bitterness. Like he delivered me from it. And you know, I can't ever imagine like sitting or standing in front of God on Judgment Day, and he tells me, I don't know you. Like, I know you. Come on now. I'd be so sad, and I want my name in the book of life. I want everybody's name in the book of life. So I'm making this video because I feel like my testimony could touch people who suffer with like self-harm, and you know, their thoughts and just bitterness that they have towards people or God for whatever, you know, has happened in your life. Don't blame God, because what I always say, like he's testing us, you know, we're in the flesh, and he's testing us to see if we're gonna follow him. And I don't know much about preaching. Like I don't really know how to, like, you know, Pastor Jose mode. I really wish, because he has some like really good words, and you know, he makes me cry like just by speaking. So, and Pastor Anna and Pastor Maria, they're all just,
that's our pastor. Those are our pastors.
Yeah, I love my pastors. Like they know how to
throw down.
They know how to, you know, break down the Bible, because when I read the Bible, I don't know what I'm reading, and you know, that I gotta learn. So there's a lot of growing that I have to do, but you know, I'm on a really good track right now, and it's all because of my wonderful God and for everything that He's done for me, and you know, my family and my boyfriend and his family, which is my family. So we're all just one big family, and you know, my church family, like I love them so much. I love everybody there and for everything that, you know, they've done for me. And this is my testimony, and I wanted to share it, you know, for the people who struggle with self-harm or, you know, bad thoughts. I just wanted to, you know, share it with somebody because I felt in my heart that somebody could, you know, use my words and my knowledge, I guess. But yeah, stay blessed. I'm gonna be making YouTube videos soon, so
yes, we're coming back.
I'm coming back. He's coming back. We're coming back.
I thought you were gonna exclude me.
No, but you know, I just wanted to put this video out, and I hope my phone quality is all right. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
I love you.